As numerous studies show, children with parents who are highly engaged in their children's education are much more likely to succeed and excel in school than those who don't. What do you see as the challenges the county school system faces with regard to parental involvement in their children's education, and what do you think the Board of Education should be doing to improve that? Would you like me to repeat that?
I got it.
Would you like me to repeat that, or?
They got it.
You got it. Okay, who do you want to go with first?
One with a hand up over.
Okay. Go ahead.
All the statistics show that when parents are involved, students do better. But we have parents who are working 2 and 3 jobs to try to live in this county with the best school system for their children. We need to find ways to make it easier for them to be engaged in their students' learning, whether it's using technology, emails, phone calls. One of the things that we did at Mount Hebron was I encouraged the counseling department to, instead of having all of their meetings in the school, to take their meetings into the communities, into some of the apartment complexes in the neighborhoods where parents could come and be engaged. And we had tremendous turnouts. I think we need to, as a school board, we need to communicate the best practices that are happening in schools all around the county so that other parent groups and parents can know what's happening and share ideas. We can do so much with the television station that we already have to communicate all of the great things that are going on in this county, because it's going to take all of us to make the difference that will keep our county the best.
Frank, would you like to take the question next?
Okay. A couple things come to mind, and some of them hinge on some budget issues, but the schools are rapidly becoming a social service agency in and of themselves. We have a very stressed, overworked PPW staff that deals with hundreds of cases. We have a burgeoning homeless population. Hard to believe in Howard County, but we do. I mean, the system already has a number of things to try to reach out to parents. Some are more effective than others. Parent Academy for parents of foreign-born students, people who are not familiar at all with the American school system, let alone the Howard County public school system. I think leveraging PTAs. When I was on the Vine Branch PTA, we did a couple of programs to go out into the community to bring people in who normally wouldn't attend the PTA meetings, and it just snowballs from there.
Thank you, Frank. Cynthia?
I think I'd like to agree with probably what they'll all say about it's important to have parental involvement. But one of the things that is really important for the whole community to understand is that there are a lot of parents who, for whatever reason, can't or won't be involved in their children's education. And we're still responsible for those kids. And then not every parent who isn't involved because they don't care, or because they could be working several jobs. They could have any number of health issues, or there are lots of reasons. And we need to not be so concerned about what the reason that they're not, but what we can do to help fill that void, because it doesn't have to be a parent, it just has to be a caring adult. And what Frank was saying about the schools becoming a sort of a social service agency, I think that that's accurate. And it's not a bad thing, because the schools are where the kids are. But we really need to be able to identify which things are social services and which things are educational services.
Thank you. Robert?
I think we all have great ideas. As a person who belongs to PTA, I think the first thing I would do is encourage organizations like the PTA and other community organizations in the schools to tell me, what could we do to get parents involved? As a coach and as a parent, I understand strongly the needs of making sure that we have parents involved in knowing what our children should be doing. I think some of the great programs like Teacher Ease and that are offered in the schools is a great way for the parents to be able to know what's happening. I think we need to use technology. We need to use a better way of communicating, because as a person myself who has, my wife works, I work, we have to take care of getting our son to football practice and taking my other son to horseback riding. I understand how it's very tough on today's parents to be involved as much as they can. But if we use technology, and if we encourage, and we make sure that we do everything we can to get parents involved, there will be successful. And I believe every parent wants their child to be successful. So hopefully we can be able to do that through better communication and use of new technology.
David, your turn.
There's no doubt that parental involvement makes or breaks a student. Students are in school for 6.5 hours a day, so there's so much that happens beyond school hours that can impact a child's learning. Many of the students that I see come into Battle Grove Elementary have language delays. They have never seen a school. They don't know how to act in school by the time they get in kindergarten. And we have some very high barriers for parental involvement. Most of our parents want to help. Their hearts are in the right place. They're blue-collar workers. Their schedules do not permit them because they're working 2 or 3 jobs. There's also the group of parents who are intimidated by the school, who don't want to come in because they didn't do well in school and they don't know where to start. So we need to have parent liaisons reach out for those parents and set up risk-free environments for those parents to come in and be involved. I also think it's all about the students. If we can get the students involved in these activities, the parents will come out. Look at the turnout for a chorus concert or a band concert when you compare it to a parent lecture night where they're learning about reading or math and the students aren't involved. The turnout's low. So we need to get our parents excited about learning, we need to involve the students, and we need to set up risk-free environments.
Thank you. Sandy?
You said it better than I can.
Oh, come on, Sandy.
One other thing is that hopefully our teachers are focusing more now due to staff development in having the ability to talent spot students at a very early age who could benefit from being a part of our gifted and talented program. We have underrepresentation of various subgroups, and we need to improve that. A personal invitation to the parent saying, your child has talent, we would like you to work with us. That does wonderful things in getting parents involved. Frank talked about our international academies for parents of English speakers of other language. They're learning the ropes, they're learning how to understand the system. That's a critical piece. The family nights that you talked about that PTA has, I went to several. I went to Dayton Oaks math night. There were loads of parents there. International night at Phelps Lock. It's
Thank you,
fun,
Sandy.
and they bring out the
Brian?
parents.
I think to specifically answer the question about creating ways for more parental involvement, I think we need to look at some of the things that are already working. I think that we need to look at volunteer training using technology. When people volunteer in a school, they don't really get much of an orientation as to how to be involved. I've been working with former school board chairperson Diane Michaelis on this project. We've been working with and speaking with Linda Wise about having a Boy Scout-like, Girl Scout-like training for parents so they can understand exactly where I can help out, what I can do more than just maybe cutting things out in class. I think we need to utilize the framework that was created as part of the Clinical Volunteer Corps with the PTA Council last year for helping out with the flu vaccinations. It was a guideline that was put together by Terry Altman and some other volunteers as well as the health department to take volunteers from any school in Howard County and have them deployed by the health department to help with the vaccinations in various different schools. Because just parental involvement in one school isn't going to do it. We're all a community together and we need to be able to dispatch volunteers everywhere. We also need to look beyond parents. We have a tremendous amount of empty nesters, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and others in the community that want to help out.
Thank you, Brian. Your turn, last, please.
I have a little bit of an opposite viewpoint. I have always tended to get more involved when the group is smaller. And so I think that inviting parents within a class is a really good way to start. A lot of parents feel like, and I know I felt like this when my kids started school, you don't know anybody. You don't want to walk into a huge group of people, like the whole school's worth of parents, and not feel like you know anybody. So from the beginning of the year, I think the best way, one of the best ways to get parents involved is on a small group basis by class. Get the parents in the class to get to know each other. Bring them out to get to know each other somehow and to do something for the class of kids that are their children, and then expand it out to doing something more for the whole school.